Okay, ये मत कहो खुदा से. Join your hand and close your eyes. Start.
ये मत कहो खुदा से मेरी मुश्किलें बड़ी हैं. ये मत कहो खुदा से मेरी मुश्किलें बड़ी हैं. ये मुश्किलों से कह दो मेरा खुदा बड़ा है. आती है आंधियाँ तो कर उनका खैर मकदम. आती है
Ma'am, your mic is muted.
मेरा खुदा बड़ा है. मेरा खुदा बड़ा है.
Ma'am, you are on mute.
Oh, welcome, ma'am. So now, yesterday we have started the chapter that is water resources. And we have discussed about the importance of the water resources, importance of water, uses of water. And now, along with that, we have discussed about scarcity, water scarcity. Yes, Nitya, you just tell me about water scarcity causes. Any cause, you can tell me. Causes of water scarcity. Yes, Nitya. And this is the reason we want you should open the videos, otherwise how would we understand? I know that some students are very much active in the class, but what about the rest of the students? We are talking about, concerned about each and every child. Yes, Nitya, you were supposed to give me the answer. What is water scarcity and what is causes of water scarcity? Yes.
Water scarcity is the shortage of water.
Causes. What are the causes behind this?
Ma'am, its causes are due to excessive use of water and unequal use of water.
Because this is a very simple question, and you should give the answer in a simple way. I'm asking about what are the causes of water scarcity? You just give me one cause or two cause. Yes, anybody? Yes,
Ma'am, over exploitation.
over exploitation, right? Any other points?
Ma'am, excessive amount
of use of water.
Okay. I think yesterday we have discussed about two words related with the water scarcity, that is qualitative and quantitative. If you remember,
Yes,
quantitative
ma'am.
aspects of water scarcity, that means less quantity. So the less quantity due to the less amount of water, in particular that is desert areas. And when we are talking about water scarcity due to the qualitative aspect, that means pollution. And after that, we can write many sentences related with this. Okay, now next topic, which is related with the need to conserve and manage water resources. I think everybody is aware about that thing. Yesterday we have discussed about some facts related with the water. And 2025 तक आते आते वर्ल्ड के 600 billion people will be under great threat, water scarcity. 2025, India will also convert into a water scarcity. So what is the need of the hour? Need of the hour to conserve and manage our water resources. But how? How? We will discuss today. How do we conserve and manage water? So for this, first we will discuss about archaeological and historical record. Because many times you also think that what is the importance of the history? Why do we study history? So this is the reason. We will just see how in ancient period water conservation was done. This is not a new phenomena. It is from the ancient period we are conserving. So archaeological and historical records show that from ancient times we have been constructing sophisticated hydraulic structures like dams built of stone rubble, reservoirs or lakes, embankments or canals for irrigation. And not surprisingly, we have continued this tradition in modern India by building dams in most of our river basins. So today also we are following the same concept, that is dams. So now first we will discuss about the hydraulic structures in ancient India. Yeah, during the ancient period, ancient India, what type of hydraulic structure to conserve the or to manage the water resources? So for this, first you just imagine about we are talking about we are living in 21st century and now we are talking about the 1st century BC. In the 1st century BC, Sringerampur near Allahabad had sophisticated water harvesting system channeling the flood water of river Ganga. After that, Chandragupta Maurya, I think everybody is aware about his name, Chandragupta Maurya. And during the time of Chandragupta Maurya, dams, lakes, and irrigation systems were extensively built. After that, not only in South also, evidences of sophisticated irrigation works. My voice is audible to all?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Evidences of sophisticated irrigation works have also been found in Kaling. You have heard the name of Kaling? Why is it famous? Do you know something about Kaling? Kalinga War? That is during the Ashoka period, which has transformed his life. So Kalinga in Odisha, Nagarjuna Konda, Andhra Pradesh, Banur, Karnataka, Kolhapur, Maharashtra, etc. And 11th century, Bhopal Lake, one of the largest artificial lakes of its time, was built. And in the 14th century, the tank in Hauskas, which is in Delhi, was constructed by Iltutmish for supplying water to Siriput area. Have you ever visited that place, Hauskas, Delhi? If you watch the movie PK, उसमें वो कहाँ रहता है? That is near Hauskas. उसको एक नाम भी दिया था. That was also water conservation के लिए बनाया गया था. That is called Ugrasen Bauli. Baulis बनाए. And so these were the hydraulic structures in ancient India. But now we'll discuss about, you just see water harvesting in ancient India. I think this is the place, Hauskas. And this is also one way for water conservation. And continuation of traditional way in modern India. So we have continued the tradition. A traditional way kya tha? To conserve water and banking. So now the modern method, modern India, what they have adopted? Building dams in most of the river basin. Dams, I think everybody is aware about the dams. So now dams or multi-purpose projects. So when we are talking about the dams or multi-purpose projects, so traditionally the purpose to build, to impound water and rain harvest that could use later to irrigate agriculture field. Now at present, we are comparing traditional as well as modern. At present, dams are built for multi-purpose uses. And that's why they are known as multi-purpose projects, or in short, we can say MPP, multi-purpose projects. So now what is a dam? Dam kya hai? It is a barrier across flowing water that obstructs, directs, or retards the flow, often creating a reservoir, lake, or impoundment. Dam refers to the reservoir rather than the structure. And most dams have a section called a spillway, through which it is intended that water will flow either intermittently or continuously. So this is a simple definition of dam, that is a barrier which across flowing water. Now we'll discuss about the classification of dams. Dams are also classified according to structure, intended purpose, or height. Based on structure and the material used, dams are classified as timber dams, embankment dams with several subtypes. According to the height, dams can be categorized as large dams and major dams, or alternatively low dams, medium height, and high dams. So these are the classification of dams. And next is, what are the, before this, first we will discuss about some dams of India. I think everybody, can you tell me the names of dams? Names of dams. Pardon? Tell me the names of some dams. Two dams names are written here, Bhakra Nangal projects. I think everybody is aware about this. And second one is Hirakud projects. Except this, can you tell me other dams name?
Ma'am, Periyar Dam.
Huh? Let us speak
Periyar
about
Dam.
dairy dams and the other. most famous, which we have already discussed in the first chapter also. That is Sardar Sarovar Dam. Have you ever heard? Okay, now in the Bhakra Nagal project on Satluj Basin uses both for hydropower production and irrigation. Since you can see that they serve many purposes. That is irrigation along with the hydropower. Along with this, another projects, Hirakud projects on Mahanadi Basin that integrates conservation of water with flood control. So these are the uses of multi-purpose projects. Except this, other projects also like Satluj, Bias River Basin, Hirakud projects, which we have already discussed. Except this, other projects are also there, which we will discuss later on because it is related with topics also. And multi-purpose projects launched after independence. And the purpose was integrate water resources management approach and the thought of as the vehicle of the country's, nation's development and progress, overcoming the handicap of its colonial past. Whatever the economy, we got it from Britishers. That was a stagnant economy. And stagnant economy, that means रुकी हुई economy. So, for the progress and for the development, we need some projects like multi-purpose projects to overcome the colonial past. And this is the reason our first Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru proudly proclaimed the dams as the temples of modern India. And what was the reason behind it? Because it would integrate what? That is multi-purpose project, that is dams. Dams would integrate development of agriculture. And when there will be a development of agriculture, automatically development of the rural economy. Along with the rapid industrialization, and rapid industrialization due to the hydropower and growth of the urban economy. That means both the purpose, rural and urban, will develop. So these are the reason we can call multi-purpose projects temples of modern. But now we will discuss about advantages of multi-purpose projects. Advantages means benefits. Can anybody tell me the advantages of multi-purpose projects? Very simple. It's written also. Just now we have discussed about electricity generation, hydropower, flood control. So first we will discuss about the advantages of MPP. Water can be stored in the form of reservoirs, which can be used for irrigation purposes. They control or eliminate floods, help in the generation of electricity. They can improve transportation as a part of a canal system. They are excellent. They are excellent for fish breeding and other aquatic fishes. also help in inland navigation. The water can be used for domestic and industrial purpose. That means you can write as many as points. Help to promote tourism. And that's why after India's independence, dam is considered as the one which lead the nation to development and progress. But every coin has two sides. Every coin has two sides, and the sides, what are the problems? Problems related with dam funds. In recent years, multi-purpose projects and large dams have come under great scrutiny and opposition for a variety of reasons. And that is through regulating and damming of rivers. When we are making dams or rivers, it affects their natural flow automatically. When you will make some barrier, this is a definition of a dam. So due to this, affect the natural flow, causing poor sediment flow and excessive sedimentation at the bottom of reservoirs. And this fragment means pieces, fragment rivers, making it difficult for the aquatic life, aquatic fauna to migrate, especially for spawning. The reservoirs that are created on the floodplains also submerge the existing vegetation and soil, leading to its decomposition over a period of time. Irrigation pattern also changed. Irrigation projects pattern changed because when farmers are having irrigation facilities throughout the year, so they have changed the cropping pattern, and that is shifting to water intensive and commercial farming crops. And this has great ecological consequences like salinization of the soil, as well as it has transformed the social landscape also. How? Social landscape कैसे change हो गया? Because increasing the social gap between the richer landowners and the landless poor. Because rich farmers are taking more advantage as compared to poor farmers. As we can see, the dams did create conflicts between people. So there is a conflict between the two categories, haves, have-nots. Along with this social movements we will discuss later on. Here we are doing just disadvantages of multi-purpose. It also causes earthquakes, waterborne diseases, and the pest and pollution resulting from excessive use of water. So now we will discuss about social movements, which are also related with the multi-purpose. And the two social movements which are very famous, Narmada Bachao Andolan and the Tihri Dam Andolan. So these are the two social movements related with the multi-purpose projects or large dams. And the purpose, why they have protested, why these movements were occurred. The main reason was due to the large-scale displacement of the local communities. Because whenever any projects, mud dams will be constructed, so at that time, local communities will be displaced, or especially tribal communities. Because most forest area will be cleared. So local people often had to give up their land, livelihood, and their meager assets. जो उनके पास थोड़े बहुत resources हैं, meager assets and control over resources for the greater good of the nation. And you just imagine if there is any project is going on in your area and you are not getting the benefits of that, so what will be your reaction? Same manner, if the local people are not benefiting from such projects, then who is benefited? Benefited by large landowners, large farmers, industrialists, and few urban centers. Now in your book also, there is one case studies related with Narmada Bachao Andolan. And that is NBA. So short form is NBA, Narmada Bachao Andolan, or Save Narmada. It is a non-governmental organization that mobilized tribal people, farmers, environmentalists, and human rights activists against the Sardar Sarovar Dam being built across the Narmada River in Gujarat. It originally focused on the environmental issues related to trees that would be submerged under the dam water. Recently, it has refocused the aim to enable poor citizens, especially the outside displaced people, to get full rehabilitation facilities from the government. And why people face suffering? In the history also, we have discussed about this thing. In the First World War, people participated in the hope that after the war, their sufferings will be ended. But it did not happen. The same manner, people in tribal areas felt that their suffering would not be in vain, accepted the trauma of displacement, believing in the promise of irrigated fields and plentiful harvest. So often the survivors of Rihan, they told us that they accepted their suffering as sacrifice for the sake of their nation. So initially, tribal people accepted their sufferings and they considered that they are doing for the nation. But now, after so many years past, their livelihood having even been more precarious, and now they keep asking, are we the only ones who will sacrifice for the sake of nation? Are we the only ones chosen to make sacrifices for the nation? So, due to this, water multi-purpose projects causes many new social movements. Environmentalists also, human rights also. And Smith, there are two social activists which were involved in Narmada Bachao Andolan. Two famous personalities, very famous names, that is Amir Khan and Medha Patikar, participated in the movement, and due to this, it attracted other people also. Not only Narmada Bachao Andolan, but other movements also. Like in Gujarat, the Sabarmati Basin farmers were agitated and almost caused a riot over the higher priority given to water supplies in urban areas, especially during droughts. Interstate water disputes are also becoming common with regard to sharing the cost and benefits of the multi-purpose project. Even you can see, we are living in Delhi, especially in summer season, many times you heard that Haryana refused to give the water to Delhi. Yeah, sometimes when water is released from Hatni Kund barrage, resulted floods in Delhi also. Not only these, Krishna Godavari dispute is also due to the objections raised by Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh government. It is regarding the diversion of more water at Kuana by the Maharashtra government for a multi-purpose project. This would reduce downstream flow in the states with adverse consequences for agriculture and industry. So that means most of the objections to the projects arose due to the failure to achieve the purposes for which they were built. Ironically, the dams that were constructed to control floods have triggered floods. A reason is sedimentation in the reservoir. So big dams have been unsuccessful in controlling floods at the time of excessive rainfall. And in 2006, the flood situation in Maharashtra and Gujarat devastated life and property, along with the extensive soil erosion. So it was observed that the multi-purpose projects induced earthquakes, caused waterborne diseases, and pests and pollution resulting from excessive use of water. So now, this is the main topic, that is first hydraulic structure in ancient India. After that,